They were best friends, both 18, college freshmen, co-workers. Inseparable since kindergarten, Jessica and Laura loved to dance. They loved to go out. They loved to have fun. The good times might have lasted, but for a tragedy that happened early one February morning in 2006. It started with a trip to a club. There were a few drinks, and then there was a trip to the car, with Jessica getting behind the wheel. Less than an hour later, Laura was dead, and her best friend was charged with killing her. Did you know that drunk driving causes approximately one-third of all traffic fatalities in the United States? Did you know that roughly 3 in every 10 Americans will be involved in an alcohol-related crash? 3 in every 10. Did you know that over 1.4 million drivers were arrested for driving under the influence in 2007? Each year, approximately 16,000 are killed in alcohol-related crashes. Teenage drivers are more likely to be involved in a drunk driving car accident. 30% of Americans, that is 30% of Americans, will be involved in an alcohol-related crash. That could mean you. That could mean someone close to you. And that could also mean someone who you may have had contact with sometime in your life. The deadliest drunk driving accident occurred in 1988 on the Interstate 71 in Kentucky. A man got behind the wheel, intoxicated, and hit head-on a school bus, killing 27 and injured 34. Most of them were children. You may be thinking, yeah, everyone knows that drunk driving is wrong, so what's the point of this speech? But the reality is that while we know it's still wrong, these accidents are still happening. Drunk driving doesn't only affect the person behind the wheel or the victim. It affects their families, their friends, and the community. So where does this put you? Alcohol impairs your ability to react quickly, make good judgments, and you will not drive as normally, as you won't really drive normally. Most people don't really logically think at a party. They are just right along with the others taking that shot. They don't try and prevent the inevitable of what is going to happen because the attitude is, oh, it's never going to happen to me. My friend's family had this same attitude on a Halloween night 3 years ago. Erica, of 15 years old, was given permission to go to a party where drinks were served. Midnight approached, and she got in the car with an intoxicated driver. Within seconds down the road, the drunk driver hit a tree, and she was killed instantly. The family was crushed, and the community was awed into silence. That could have been your sister. That could have been your family member. That could have been you. Maybe it's you who has had a little too much to drink. Plan ahead. Plan to spend the night where you'll be drinking. Plan to have a designated driver. Think of the people that you may drive as one of your family members, as your sister, as your brother, as your mom, as your dad. Don't take the risk of getting a DUI because a DUI doesn't only affect the now, but it affects the future and your career. Don't take a risk of being charged for killing your best friend. No matter how much you think you can handle and that you can still drive, you're relying strictly on your speedometer, not your judgment. And the statistics are not in your favor. Are you going to sit around and let this potentially happen to your community? You could be the one who can prevent an intoxicated driver from getting behind the wheel. Yes, I did say you. How, you may ask? You could be the designated driver at midnight. You could pick up the phone on Interstate 10 if you suspect a drunk driver and report it to save the life of a child. You could be that friend who takes the keys away from an intoxicated person at a party. Forget being cool for a minute, because that minute could save multiple lives. Take a stand against drunk driving for the sake of you, for the sake of your family, and for the sake of your community. Take a stand. Don't get in the car with an impaired driver. Don't let your friends, family, or persons of the community drive under the influence. You can save a life. You can prevent DUIs with just one word. You can change the statistics. You can help prevent lives lost.